Grand rising, beautiful kings and queens, gods and goddesses, and in-betweens. I'm getting ready to take this serious long flight. I pray my legs make it through. It is now 7, and I'm gonna see if my Dodge have the power to take me all the way up north to Michigan and bring me all the way back down south to Florida. I don't know. I woke up with this motivational, inspiring song, and it was laid on my heart to share it with you. Now, excuse my voice. I'm still recovering from getting on my students yesterday because they showed out on my sub.
There are police reported ahead.
Thank you very much, and I will play it safe. So it goes like this. I'm alive, alert, awake, enthusiastic. I'm alive, alert, awake, enthusiastic. I'm alive, alert, awake. I'm alert, awake, alive. I'm alive, alert, awake, enthusiastic. Yeah. I'll be in touch, y'all. Hey, y'all, just checking in. I am right now about 3 hours in, passing through Alabama, sweet home Alabama. Trying to keep myself motivated. Cause boy, I tell you, looking at all these beautiful trees, yes, it is very relaxing, and sometimes it's too relaxing. So I gotta make sure I keep myself energized throughout this trip. This is like my challenge. But as I was riding through, thinking, I'm gonna have a lot of time to think. I know people gonna be like, oh snap, we got a lot of videos to go through on this trip. But I wanted to say this. Sometimes I'm gonna try to speak from two different perspectives. I'm gonna come at you from a Christianized point of view and a worldly point of view. You know, there are moments where people grow up in situations, they learn behaviors. Some things they learn are, beneficial and serves them well, and some things hinder them in their growth and create a lot of chaos in their life, a lot of dysfunction. I work with a lot of kids over my years. A lot of my students, especially in Title I schools, they experience a lot of trauma early on in their life. And I'm a victim of it too. I'm not ashamed to say it. If you have been following me or watched a few of my videos, you will know I have stated that I am a survivor of childhood trauma, abuse, sexual abuse, verbal abuse, physical abuse, poverty, just pretty much a lot that you can pretty much think of. But I think I had, some real strong angels, or my spirit team. They really brought me through a lot. Like I said, I have been face to face with loaded guns, from a cokehead that thought somebody in my household stole some drugs from them, to the SWAT team kicking in my door with what do they call it, double gauge type shotgun.
In 600 feet at the traffic circle, take the second exit and stay on Alabama 167 North.
Hold on, y'all. Let me make this turn. I'm holding. Going through a roundabout. Okay, we got it, and bam. All right, so like I was saying, there are people.
Exit the traffic circle onto Alabama 167 North.
There are people that's put in a situation not because
continue for 8 miles.
They're not loved and not protected, but sometimes they have to grow through challenges in order to excel to the next level. And it's like, and it takes time. It's not gonna be like, okay, you start from the bottom and then you jump to a high advanced spiritual level by the time within 2 years. I mean, it just varies. But the main thing I wanted to say is, if you are dealing with someone, or maybe this is something you're experiencing within yourself, and a lot of people don't want to admit to their sinful ways and demons they're battling with because of shame, because of guilt, and fear. So you got to get past that in order to see changes happen in your life. But a lot of people don't realize the side effects of poor choices and demonic ways. And sometimes you'll catch it in time enough to recover from it. And sometimes it can be too late. A lot of young people, they die. They go through some real bad experiences at an early age. And that's because there's just a lot of pile up of sinful demonic behaviors that they don't know how to cure themselves from. And no, I don't have all the answers to saving everyone, but this is something that I think can help people become more wise and aware, because that's the first thing to saving yourself. It ain't just about walking around with a weapon. It's not just about knowing how to throw them bows like Ludacris says. It's not just about that. It's just about really taking out the time to live in the moment and really observe your environment and really set intentions and know what you want out of life. So and you know what, this is one thing that I was taught, and it probably sounds crazy, but this is what my grandmother used to tell me, because she was a hardcore Pentecostal Kojic Christian. And I used to say, Grandma, why do people get so obese? Why do people get so fat? And she used to tell me that that's the sin. That's just years of sin. And I'm like, well, how in the world eating every day got something to do with sin? But now that I'm older and I understand, it's called emotional eating. And it's called feeling guilty about certain things and thinking that, okay, you can eat to comfort that guilt, and then before you know it, your body is not responding correctly, to certain foods. And then now you're walking around obese or battling with diabetes, heart issues, and all types of side effects from overindulging. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that is one of the deadly sins. But like when you're dealing with somebody that is in denial, right? And they feel like, okay, well, I'm a lie, because it starts at an early age. And now, like I said, it's a learned behavior. They like, for an example, if you tell your child, hey, if somebody come knocking on the door looking for me, I don't feel like dealing with them. So tell them that I'm not here, even though you back in the room sleep, or you actually at the house, right? So you just open up the doors to teaching your child how to lie. Or if somebody call on the phone and it's a bill collector, hey, tell them that I'm not home. That is the first stage of teaching your child how to lie, right? But you want them to lie at your convenience. You don't want them to lie at their convenience. So if they lie, maybe they say, Mama, I don't have homework, but they actually have homework, then now they're being punished. Now they're being, beat or whipped because they wasn't honest. But then you just taught them how to lie. And then let me tell you how far it can go. So now they're learning, okay, well, if I lie for my mama, that's cool. But if I tell the truth, then I might get in trouble. Or if I lie, I might get in trouble. So it's almost like mixed signals that we're giving children. And so as they grow older, then as they go through different stages in life, then they done lied to the teacher. Now they lying on their friend. Now they, gossiping and making up stories about co-workers. And as they get older, the lies start to pile up. And yes, karma, it does work instantly, but sometimes it lets you bury yourself in your sins. Yeah, it will allow you to bury yourself in a whole lot of sins, and you thinking, oh, I'm gonna go to church and repent, that's gonna get rid of it. No, it doesn't quite work that way. And so now you trying to figure out why you have poor relationships with people, or why things don't work out the best in your life, or why your blessings barely show up. And that's because you got a lot of things you need to clear out of your system. That's what spiritual people call the shadow side. You have to face the fact that you got some bullshit that you need to clear out of your system, but you got to know the right way to do it. Because crying your eyes out and trying to put $100 in tithing ain't gonna clear up anything. You think that okay, it's this gonna heal, this gonna balance out the shit that I did over the years. No, it don't work like that. It doesn't. That's actually a European ideology, because that's what happened back in the slavery days. They went and slaughtered millions. I mean, they tried to commit genocide of brown, copper-colored, negroid, indigenous people. And so they felt like if they build some type of temple or church building, and they go and sit and cry and shout and do all kinds of entertaining things, that's going to help balance out their sins. No, it don't work like that. No, it's I'm sorry, I hate to bring it to you, but it doesn't work like that. Or I'm gonna be nice to this person, but then I'm gonna act an ass toward this person. Or I'm gonna make sure my mother's medical bills are covered, but I'm gonna act like an asshole toward all my co-workers. Then no. You got it all twisted and wrong. So just wanted to kind of put that out there. When you are piling up your sins, being deceptive, cheating, trying to gaslight people, bully people, all of that, that's tied to those sinful ways. And that's like the fastest way you can create hell on earth. Because we already know, if you go to Google Map, there's no such thing as hell. Now there's some areas using the title hell, but when you zoom in, you ain't gonna see no red man with horns and a pitchfork dancing in a lake of fire. No, you're not. Now, there are some areas.
The next light, use the left 2 lanes to turn left.
Geographical areas that will show you natural experiences or areas in this located on the map that maybe you might run into a volcano. In some areas you might run into like in Peru, boiling hot water. The area, I can't remember the name because I was just talking about it with my students, where yep, I'm chilling. Looking all crazy. I know people will be like, dog, she must be really relaxed. Shoot, I'm gonna have to find me an egg omelet in a few minutes. I gotta find me an egg omelet, veggie omelet. But back to what I was saying. Yeah, you gotta understand that there's a ritual and routine, a procedure for every single thing you do in your entire life, in your daily life. There's a routine for when you get up and wash your face and brush your teeth. There's a routine to when you wipe your ass. There's a routine or procedure that you go through to cut your hair or shave your body, and self-care. There's a routine for everything. Driving, the proper adequate way of speaking, the American way, or probably the slang way, Ebonics way. And so people like to skip steps, but they don't want to do the healing. And that's the problem in our society today. A lot of people are full of shit. And this is where I'm going to start talking like the worldly way. So be ready for it. Now, there are people, just imagine somebody is literally full of shit. And to the point to where they're constipated and full of shit. Their breath smell like shit.
There are police reported ahead.
Thank you very much. Don't need no tickets today. There are people that dress like shit. There are people that have shitty behaviors. That's all tied to years of walking around with unhealed, backed up behavior, negative behaviors, sinful behaviors, and they refuse to get the help. And so I know, just imagine somebody covered in shit, right? You ain't gonna want to hang around nobody like that, because that's a reflection of you. You ain't gonna want to invite nobody in your household. You don't want them sitting on your couch. You don't want them laying in your bed. You don't even want, you barely speak if you really have to, and you're trying to figure out, okay, why is this person okay with smelling like this or walking around like this? Because now we're going to say, we're going to switch it and say, figuratively, people are like that. They don't really literally have bodily feces all over them and fluid all over them, but
There are police reported ahead.
Oh, thank you. There are people that's like that, and I gotta make sure I stay away from that shit, because I got things I gotta take care of, and I don't need no more tickets and shit. But anyway, like I was saying, there are people that refuse to acknowledge that they're covered in shit. They feel like it's normal and something is wrong with everybody else that's trying to live pure and clean. Okay? And then even if you go and get baptized, or somebody splash a whole lot of holy water on you, that's not going to change your mindset. Now at that point in time, your mind might be thinking, oh, this is going to help. I'm going to be a better person. I'm new again. But no, that it doesn't quite work that way. Now, what the ritual is for, what the water clears, is to wash away energetic negativity and behaviors. But it's only a temporary fix if you still trying to hold on to your old ways of doing stuff. That's why when you see people get baptized, they join a church and they get saved and all this and that, they still end up committing some type of sin, because they are still fighting with years of packed up. Remember I said, it starts when you're a child. The trauma begins when you're a child. And then over the years, you still let that sinful experience or that traumatic experience fester in you. And then it piles up. And then you wondering, okay, well, why my baptism didn't work? Why joining the church? I go to church every week or every whatever. I pay a lot of tithing, but I'm still battling with secret demons. People got to understand that there's more to it than a temporary quick fix. That's just like a worldly person. Okay, I'm going to go ahead. I'm feeling depressed because my mama wasn't there. My daddy was abusive. Or a family member was doing, they hurt me. All kinds of negative stuff that took place. So instead of them facing that demon, then they go and call on another demon. Hey, alcohol, I need your help right now. I'm feeling depressed because I'm mad with my mama. I'm mad with my daddy, my uncle, my grandmother, my co-worker, my ex-girlfriend, my ex-boyfriend. So come help me feel better. So then that demon come on. Yeah, what you want, the Hennessy? Or you want the tequila? Or do you want the vodka? What's up? What is going to be? You can get all three. All right? And so you got that other demon coming along. Then here's another demon. Now that demon inviting in other stuff. Hey, what's up? I got drunk. I need the demon of sex addiction. Hey, come on. We want to have a threesome. Bring it on. We want to do stuff that we won't ever forget. Nah, we're going to do it the freak off way. We're going to do it the P. Diddy way. We're going to get drunk. We're going to fuck around with men and women. We're going to mess with underage people. We finna throw it down. So there's another trauma. So now you got 3 traumas. You depressed from something that happened in childhood. You depressed. Now you drinking alcohol. Now you indulging in more sinful acts because you got all these other things being called in. Oh, here's another one. Now the orgy didn't work. The threesome didn't work. The drunk didn't work. The cocaine, the Molly, all that don't work. The Percocet, that didn't work. Now you're dealing with stuff with murdering people or trafficking people. There's another sin. Now, hey, we got room for one more. Come on, let's bring in some more sins. Now, you done got all those sins piled up in you. You trying to figure out why you can't get rid of that heaviness and that feeling. And now you got the sin of the Grand Reaper. Now he coming in, finna snatch all that shit that you done worked on, all the blessings that you done accumulated. Now he finna throw your ass in a prison system where they finna really punk your ass out. They finna really turn you out. So, and this is for males and females. So you see how over the years things start to trickle down from generation to generation, from age to age. Like I said, I'm not trying to make someone feel worse than they already are, because that's where we get a lot of people unaliving themselves. It's the fact that, okay, acknowledge that shit and break it. That's it. That's all my words and my intentions about. It ain't about judging you. I don't have a hell or heaven to put you in. I don't have, I don't have, like I said, all of the answers, but I know by my observations, by my own personal experiences, looking at a whole lot of things from family members, looking at, some friends, co-workers, all the stories my students come to school and share with me. That's why our world is so off balance. I bet you any amount of money Trump going through trauma. I don't care how much he hold a title, how much he is a good businessman. It doesn't matter. That man got some trauma going on within him. All the presidents. People will sacrifice the good side of them, the positive side of them, for a quick come up, even if it's dealing with the most demonic thing you can think of. And they got to walk around with that shit. And it will eat them inside out. It will make you sick. Mentally, physically. And then, then it just calls in more demons to cater to that. That's just like, even with dating, you thinking, okay, well, you good, and you good enough to go and attract another person, but you don't realize you're attracting another demon that look fine and sexy, that got the right words or act just like you on your level. And then you trying to figure out, okay, what you gonna do with this person? Because, you don't want to face yourself. Then you feel like, oh, this person ain't good enough for you, so I'm gonna get with somebody else that's better. But then you ain't looking within yourself. You ain't looking at your own inner sins. And see, that's where people get fucked up at. And I don't care what title you got. Like I said, you can have a negative bank account, or you can have over $1 billion, $1 billion in your bank account. Oprah dealing with demons. Michael Jackson had demons he was dealing with. All them famous people, they still got inner trauma. And they tell you, half of them come on and admit that they've been sexually abused, physically abused. Had to deal with alcoholic parents, or thieving ass, cheating ass, deceptive ass partners. That all leaves an effect within your body. But you got to know, okay, I got to clean this up, because if I don't heal this, then it's going to call in another demon. If I don't heal this, then it's going to keep calling in different demons. And then I'll just be, like I said, from the worldly point of view, full of shit. Full of shit. Breath stank as hell. Your eyes already looking brown like shit. You got earwax coming out you. You so full of shit. That's what I'm saying. So, now I know I may be, chuckling a little bit, but no, this ain't to degrade anybody. This is not to put anybody down. I'm just telling you what I had to face, what I had to deal with. And, it don't matter how cute, how beautiful, like I said, how sexy you are. If you're dealing with years of piled up shit, it will take your ass down. It will take you down. Just like my neighbor I had told you a couple of years back. He knew he was dead ass wrong for triggering my pit bull. And he knew he was full of shit. And he was pretty healthy enough to get around. And all of a sudden, he died with unknown causes. Healthy ass man died with unknown causes. So I'm just trying to tell you, don't take it lightly. Don't think, oh, I just told a lie. It ain't no big deal. Oh, I told a lie to what you call it. It ain't no big deal. Yeah, I went ahead and smeared that person's name. It ain't no big deal. They ain't gonna do nothing about it. Shit. Them demons that you don't see, they letting you pile it up. Letting your conscience eat you up. Because they got something for you. And you don't have to believe in it. But when you go to your bank account, you gonna believe something ain't looking right. When your girlfriend or your boyfriend playing mind games with you, you gonna know that's a part of a demon. When you trying to figure out why your family members dropping left and right, you gonna know unexpectedly. You can't even explain it. That's generational curses. So like I said, things happen to help us grow, or it can help break us down to the core. Sometimes it'll take us out. You just got to choose what side you want to be on, which route you want to go. How are you going to contribute to our society? Are you going to add to this polluted, chaotic environment? Or are you going to help clean it up? Are you going to spread around your shitty ways? Or are you going to clear it all up, detox your ass, and go ahead and try to heal people? Because that's what it's all about. Alright? So this message is not just for the wealthy. It's not for the strugglers. It's not just for the prison people, the criminals. It's for everybody, young and old. So until I get another download, which may be in the next 2 hours, I'll be in touch, y'all. Peace out.